How's it going? My name is Yubi Duran and I'm the founder of Exosent Engineering. We were introduced to the industrial gas world at the end of 2012, and we discovered that the industrial gas world, or the LPG transportation world, actually has not really changed in about 60 years. However, when we looked further back, we saw there were some interesting designs way back in the 1930s and the 50s, including Europe. And the idea was, why aren't we employing these innovative transportations ideas which are safer in the US? So way back in 2014, we built our first low center of gravity tank. The tank is 33% more stable, less chance of a rollover, road closures, all the costs associated with that. And the Exosent brand was born. Since that inception of the first trailer in 2014, Exosent carried on finding out ways to improve the product, and we've done that through a couple of venues. One is, what does the customer want? What does the operator want on the field? Since we don't operate, we don't really know. By listening to our customers, getting all that information, collecting that data, seeing what is practical, what can be done, the product continuously evolved to make the product more useful for the operator. Additionally, we discovered that our tankers actually have better fuel mileage. We have evidence on the field since 2018 that our trailers get up to 18% better fuel mileage. That can translate upwards of $10,000 a year in fuel savings alone. So one of the things we have to consider with these transport tanks is the slosh in the tank. The tank design itself hints for a reduction in slosh because of the bizarre shape. When you decelerate, the smaller section in the front diminishes the amount of flow going forward. The cone shape in the back does the same thing when you accelerate. In addition to that, we have built and integrated very nice, I would call them advanced aluminum baffles that reside in the tank. And unlike traditional baffles, instead of being a solid wall, these baffles are perforated, and they're not there to stop the flow at full impact. They're there to actually create a shock absorber. In fact, we call them shock absorbing baffles. In 2018, we decided to move into the field of the bobtails. And we thought we can use our technology of the weird geometry tank to improve even the bobtail industry. What you see behind me is a tank design that is used in a traditional 33,000 GVWR truck. However, using our tank technology, this truck on the same weight distribution is able to carry an additional 3 to 4, maybe even 500 gallons of fuel, which gives the operator that much more profit because the same driver, same insurance, but that truck has to come a lot less times back into the storage tank and refill and then go back out into the road.
My name is Andrew Anthony. I am one of the partners of Kurt's Truck Equipment. We started working with UV and Exosent about 4 years ago when he introduced the bobtail idea of using this QT steel and using the shape of the tank to actually allow us to carry more gallons. It just really resonated with us. You know, it just was a no-brainer.
Morning, I'm Gene Morrison. I am the Dispensing Systems Product Manager for Gas Equipment Company. What this is we are marketing this for a rapid response piece of equipment, capital equipment for your fleet. It's a very agile piece of equipment, and that's something that I want people to understand and know, is the capability of this piece of equipment to be moved and deployed in different aspects that you need for day to day. So you're not going to spend this money on the piece of equipment that's only going to sit there if you ever need it for a disaster relief. The primary focus of it is for disaster relief, especially in hurricane areas where you can be out of power for an extended period of time in those areas. But with the agility of the equipment, you can still use this in day-to-day operations. Anywhere that you would deploy a bobtail, that you would use a bobtail for wet filling applications, that you're sitting there and your driver is held up to do bottle filling, you can deploy this instead. You can set this on the ground. Your bobtail driver, your hazmat driver can still continue to go do routes with a bobtail, and then you can have a dock worker who is normally doing bottle filling operate the dispenser on the back end, so it saves you costs as an operator, because once it's been dropped in place, it's a dispenser sitting there in any area that you need it to be. So again, continuing the theme of innovation as a response to customer needs is where this product was developed. So developing this trailer here, this is a completely self-contained autogas unit. so there is no need for on-grid power, and this has a high differential pump, so it's able to operate the exact same way that the permanent piece of infrastructure will once it's in place. So this is a great transition for the end user because it's not going to be anything different than what they're going to use when the permanent piece is there. Once your permanent infrastructure is ready to be set and has been signed off on permitting process, you can hook up to this trailer and you can tow it out of there and have it ready to deploy for your next application.
Definitely want you guys to contact us. Find us at exosent.com. Let's talk shop.